When you're a business owner and you're begging the city for help, it's not a great sign, especially when the city says, nope, we can't really do things. We're really short-handed. And also with the city being like GTA 5, we basically can't do anything to people who rob stores. So right now it's getting so bad to the point you got like CVS, Walgreens, pretty much putting glass in front of everyday items. I mean, when I go to CVS in my city, I mean, everything's just out. I mean, maybe occasionally like the Hennessy is behind the liquor bars. Maybe some of the more expensive items like $50 to $100 are behind bars, but not like toothpaste, okay? So here you go. Immigrant store owner begs San Francisco for help after losing $100,000 to burglars. Says it's worse than Afghanistan. So it's a San Francisco store owner immigrated to the United States from Afghanistan, and it's pretty impressive as an immigrant that he straight up set up a massive store. It's like booze, cigarettes, vapes, this kind of store. And these kind of stores have a lot of very expensive merchandise. And he has a lot of expensive merchandise in this store. And he's just selling regularly in San Francisco to everyday items. And suddenly, out of nowhere at night, a bunch of burglars went in and just robbed a lot of things. And what's really crazy is the robbery wasn't like a quick in and out 2 minutes type of thing. It was like a quick in and we're going to take our time and maybe even take a break and then we're going to leave. It was apparently like a 20-minute ransack. And the dude called the police, of course, okay? And the cops took a very, very long time to come. And when they came, they're like, yeah, we probably can't really do things. I mean, it's crazy for a first world country like us to have officers come in and say they can't really do anything. Now, I get it. The police really is kind of shorthanded, okay? And also the politics in San Francisco pretty much doesn't allow them to do anything. I guarantee you a lot of cops in San Francisco, they want to do things, but they just can't because of a lot of individuals saying they can't really do anything and defund the police, all that kind of stuff. And also the city politics don't really support the cops either. The cops want to do things, don't get me wrong. They really, really want to do things. You even have a lot of store owners saying that they know officers that they want to do things, but they just can't because the city says no. And even have the store owners saying, at least in Afghanistan, the Taliban will cut off your hand off, and people are afraid to commit such a crime. It's crazy when you have somebody from Afghanistan say San Francisco is worse than Afghanistan. I've never heard this phrase before. First time. And the mere fact that it was a 20-minute ransack was crazy. And yeah, I mean, the store is basically ruined with $100,000 worth of merchandise gone. There's even like graffiti. I mean, this store is totally busted at this point. And the store owner says, yep, this is going to be the last straw. And he may just become one of several small business owners leaving San Francisco. Now, if you look at this, San Francisco, the reason why nobody wants to come back. Office workers are smart. Tech bros, finance bros, they're very smart. They're not coming back to the city. It's really simple. Homelessness, crime, drugs. If you just solve all three things and don't say anything about businesses, whatever it is, if you just solve those three things, I guarantee within 1 to 2 years, a lot of businesses are going to start flooding back into the city. We're seeing so many small business owners. They barely make any money because a lot of people have left. And then they get robbed a couple times and they're already in the massive negatives. And they're like, I can't make any money in the city. And also rent's still crazy expensive. I'm just going to leave. A lot of small business owners are leaving for smaller cities, smaller suburban cities where there's less crime. The police officers actually have the power to do something. And a lot of the Republican cities are actually gaining a massive inflow of individuals, whereas the Bay Area and LA, for example, have a massive outflow of individuals. And by the way, $700 million to combat homelessness is more than enough, but they're probably not going to be using the funds well at all. They keep saying about building affordable housing, never really happens. Housing for the homeless never really happens. Nothing really gets done in the city. I mean, it's insane to see this kind of stuff. And if you look at this, it's really taking San Francisco a massive toll. I've been to San Francisco pre-pandemic. It's actually a fantastic city. And even pre-pandemic, a lot of people didn't like it, but it wasn't as bad as now. Okay, pre-pandemic, it's a very nice city. Year-round, the weather is always in the mild 70s and sometimes 80s. It's a very, very nice climate. Air is good. There's also the very romantic-looking fog. people want to stay in the city. Okay, it's actually a really good city to live in, but because of the high robberies, like I said before, it's Grand Theft Auto every single day. Store closures are hitting San Francisco. Offices went first because nobody post-pandemic wanted to come back. Everyone was working online, and people are like, screw San Francisco. Okay, why am I paying $3,000 for a box and I'm still getting robbed? Nobody is going back. So office workers are gone. Okay. Store closures are closing because number one, a lot of people are leaving, so their stores aren't making as much money. And then two, they keep getting robbed, and that's just pretty bad. San Francisco offices vacancies are crazy. We're also seeing a lot of retailers pulling out. First of all, Nordstrom, they're gone. Office Depot, they're gone. Whole Foods, the flagship store in San Francisco, is now gone. And I've always thought Whole Foods would probably be the very last person to pull out, but they're like super quick. They're like, zip, we're out. And they don't want to leave at first, but now they're leaving because they just simply can't make any more money. Most retailers are signing that they're actually not making money because of shoplifting. That's it. And when they report shoplifting, cops don't really care. It's even like this rule over there where if you shoplift less than $600, like nothing really happens. And like the previous story with the Afghanistan guy, getting robbed $100K from your store, nothing really happens either. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we start seeing Louis Vuitton and Gucci start moving out as well. And the latest move out is going to be Old Navy. Now, Old Navy probably doesn't make that much money due to the fact that their clothes are cheaper and there's employees. A lot of these stores, their break even is very, very tight. So they can't be afforded to have a bunch of shoplifters come in and pretty much for every shirt they sell, like every 2 shirts are being stolen. They can't make any money, guys. And if you look at this, so many of these massive retail stores are shutting down. Guys, any decent city will not have places like Old Navy, will not have Whole Foods, and also convenience stores shutting down. Any decent city will at least have these stores open, with even with other small businesses leaving, because these stores are generally backed by their own companies and they're generally very, very strong. So check this out. So many retailers are leaving. When you have Nordstrom, the big boys, leaving the city, it straight up means that they're never coming back. They're never coming back ever again. Like when they leave, they actually leave and they never look back. Now, a lot of the guys and economists in those companies, they do look at the future potential of the city before packing up. If they know that a recovery is coming very soon, they will suck it up and stay. But given the fact that when they look at San Francisco's politics, those same economists in those big companies are like, yep, this city is never going to change. This city will never recover. We're just going to leave and we're never coming back. When the big anchor stores are leaving, smaller businesses generally go with them. And also a lot of people generally want to move out. San Francisco still has a lot of great parts, but a lot of those great parts are being affected. And when you hear these cities, these very sad stories, it's not a great sign for the city. See you guys later.